How do we start these things?
I told you, go.
Hi, I'm Evan.
I'm Teddy, and this is our van, Plum.
That we live in now.
And you're supposed to say, and this is our I said that.
And what do I say? And today we're going to talk about our first week living in the van. That lens really needs cleaning. Can't really tell though. As we talked about in the last video, we were able to move into our van just before Christmas. The last week of 2020 was kind of us transitioning.
Yeah, so we learned a few We learned a few things while living in the van for the first week, especially because the first week, was a little bit colder. There were a few learning curves that we will talk about in this video.
Yeah. So as we ended on the last video, getting out of the driveway was a little troublesome. That day really got away on us.
We had to stop at our house where my dad's been living, and while I was doing that, Evan realized that the van tires were pretty low, and so he had to fill those up.
Do want to put some more air in the tires, because the vehicle's been asking for that, so. I did some research online and I kind of found out that the ProMaster tire pressure sensors do not work well in temperature below 0. And I did it wrong. I overfilled the front tires.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Then we drove to my mom's house. We were spending Christmas Eve with my mom.
Parked at Teddy's mom's, and I have everything kind of set up because we're parking here and staying here for the night, so.
And so we parked in her driveway. We're currently parked in her driveway, and it's actually quite a little spot, and so we had to kind of back in, plug in through the what's it called, garage. One of the things we had to do that night was a family FaceTime call. Lola.
I feel like we should turn the camera over just so that we can, Lola can be more part of.
She's very alert this episode.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. She looks bigger than us. Anyway, so my grandma was on her own trying to FaceTime us, and for some reason we couldn't add her in, so it was pretty funny.
So it's Christmas and we're trying to get everyone onto a call together, but we can't seem to get Grandma connected to any of the calls, so this is the main Zoom call. And then this is us FaceTiming Grandma.
Why don't we bring...
It's so funny how the ads during the pandemic are we're together but apart, and it shows all these families so happily looking at each other over the phone. Meanwhile, the reality is it's just a technical support nightmare. Yeah, that was Christmas Eve. Christmas morning, Teddy's mom. Or we're gonna turn the camera back this way now. She's not really.
So Christmas morning we spent on our own and had breakfast together, and then we went to a dog park and took a walk with Lola. Yeah, I don't need it. I don't need to be wearing my snowsuit. It's so warm out, but
yeah, that's where she sparks. Already lost the booty. So it's Christmas morning. Normally
we'd be at my mom's with my immediate family.
COVID complications have made that difficult, so we had Christmas with Teddy's mom last night, and now we're, I guess, gonna start some new Christmas traditions on our own, which probably include giving Lola a lovely walk in the park, so.
Merry Christmas! After our walk with Lola, we opened our gifts to one another.
Yeah, had our own little Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a gift for you. Do you want
it? It's a decoy. Oh yeah, I got thirsty while wrapping, so.
Oh yay! Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, it is perfect. So, Teddy got me a sweater, but it has this embroidered on it. Hola. That's your face.
Oh, what happened to that painting that you...
You know what? That is a great question. I've been thinking about that, and I don't know where it is either. It would fit there, but you said you don't want to have anything hanging there.
No.
No.
And then we just worked in the van. I mean, that was the thing, is like after the dog park, we're just like, well, where do we go now? I don't know.
Let's just stay here.
I feel like that's been a recurrent theme throughout us, like, transitioning of, like, now we're sitting here like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Boxing Day.
We were back at Evan's parents' place at this point, and we needed to empty our gray water, our pee. Our garbage bins were a little bit full.
We haven't been utilizing the van systems fully. We haven't been going to the bathroom in the van every day. We haven't been making all the meals, so our water usage and utility usage has been minimal, but regardless, I still have to empty the gray tank. I have to pump new fresh water into the tanks, the fresh tanks, and I also have to empty that thing.
Like when we wash dishes and stuff, it fills up that little gray... Did we explain that?
No, we haven't explained it. When I built the van, I put a gray tank underneath the van. It's half the amount of our fresh water. In winter, all that gray water would freeze and be impossible to empty.
Because it's underneath the van on the outside.
Because it's on the outside. So temporarily for the winter, I installed a gray tank underneath the sink. And it's only 5 gallons though, so it has to be emptied quite frequently.
This is our gray tank. It's really easy to take out, which is nice, and the tank has a lot of handles, which makes it easy to carry, but just putting the vent hose back on was a little bit tough.
Then Evan filled up our water tanks.
That took some time.
Because his parents' driveway is extremely angled, they have these like feet.
Yeah, these blocks that elevate the front of the van so that when we're building on the driveway, which is angled, the front of the van lifts and it's mostly level.
The next day, we were leaving. The driveway at his parents' place was extremely wet and icy. The video of it, of you backing off of it, it just like shoots out.
It wasn't supposed to happen like that, but we're off.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we drove in our car to Morden and Winkler to drop off a Christmas gift.
And gifts for the family.
Yeah, and just like say hello through the window to Evan's grandma who lives there. Driving in a car after being in our van, I was like, ugh, it's so dirty, crappy, small.
No toilet.
There's no toilet in this car. What a ripoff. And we got Filipino food.
And we really missed having a dining table.
Yeah.
Sure would be nice if we were in a van right now with a table.
I will say though, that Filipino place in Winkler, I would drive out to Winkler just for that.
It was so good.
Up until this point, we had... When did I...
No. Nope.
Mostly been plugged into shore power, staying at her mom's place, staying at my parents' place. In the morning though, I forgot that the electric heater was on and I wanted to toast up a cinnamon bun, so then I plugged in the toaster.
So I made a little mistake this morning. I had the toaster all set out to toast up some breakfast, but when I turned it on, I forgot that the space heater was still on. So the space heater and the toaster on at the same time blew the breaker inside the house. But then that switched the inverter over to the batteries instead of shore power, and those combined blew the fuse that the inverter is attached to. I have this breaker installed and it didn't trip.
I had to do some testing and fiddling around, and thankfully I built enough switches and a decent, safe enough system that I was able to diagnose where the problem lay. Thankfully, I did have a spare at my dad's house, so my dad was able to drop off that fuse and we were to get everything back up and running right away. Now, we just in the future, we have to make sure that whenever we plug in the toaster, we look around and make sure that there's nothing else on.
December 29th.
Okay, so
we went to your parents' place.
Why did we go to my parents' place?
I can't remember. We did for some reason.
I think they had food.
Yeah.
I went to bed with the batteries at one was showing like 17%, the other one was showing 30. And I looked at my little timer and the timer said, you have 6 hours of battery left. And I'm like, well, we'll probably sleep for 8 hours. This is a bit of an issue. And then when I woke up in the morning and checked one of my batteries, it was showing 2%. What I actually learned later that day in corresponding with the guy who bought my batteries from is I actually haven't given my batteries a full charge in months.
apparently you had some setting wrong. Even though we had been plugged in the entire day before, the batteries were never actually fully charging, even though we were plugged in. I'm glad we figured that, by we, not me. I'm glad you figured that out.
I woke up that morning, turned the van on. I woke Teddy up before the sun rose. Did I make coffee? I don't think I did. No, I didn't make coffee because we didn't have enough battery power to heat up the water.
Sorry. We're off to a little bit of a more earlier start today. I mean, 7:15. It's really not that early. So we don't really have enough power to make hot water. Keeping the van warm takes up a lot of power. So right now, because I want to get the van charging, get the van going, we're gonna drive to a park and take Lola for a walk. Pretty sure we'll be good. Man, you cannot trust those signs. That is not 9 feet.
What can I get for you?
2 medium coffee with cream.
We decided to drive to a provincial park.
Well, I do want to say something about that. I was like, Kate, Teddy, where do you want to go walk Lola? Maybe we can walk her at the park at the next neighborhood. But I'm like, hey, well, what's the point of having this thing on wheels if you don't go to your favorite place?
We've been out of the van for 2 seconds and we've already lost the booty.
And I can't find it, so all is lost.
We can find it. Okay, let's retrace our straps. In front of the car. Why do you walk away?
Because I just want to do a walk, and every 5 seconds I'm waiting for you because you're taking pictures of something or you're so far away.
You're living life too fast.
No, I'm living life at normal pace. He's peeing.
I mean, not to knock where we get to walk here close by to our house, like we're lucky we have that, but this is really nice. It's a nice change.
And we ended up staying there for a few hours and just getting some work done.
Just working on the computer.
But we had to go back to the city because later that night we told my mom that we would look after her dog Jasper and take him for a walk. She was off doing a course, and so she needed someone to take out her dog and look after him, and we love him. So
no. Sorry, I'm not.
Oh no! Because we're here, we are really kind of like, we're ping-ponging back and forth between our parents' places and
our place. Like we still
and because of Code Red, with everything being locked down and us not being able to really go any places or see any friends or park outside of their places, we really are relying on family to get us a shower because our shower isn't operational quite yet. We have to rely on our families quite a bit. December 30th. Evan had gotten me for Christmas a Super 8. Oh my gosh! You use this.
Oh, did I leave it on accidentally? Oh, I did.
Which was awesome, and so this was the first time that we had actually taken it out and put the film in and given it a shot.
So, we're deciding to give the Super 8 camera a go today. This all is very new to me, and I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, baby, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I mean, we film and photograph so much, but it's always like you see what you're doing right away. But when you're shooting Super 8 and like film, it's like I have no idea. Okay.
Evan toasted up some cinnamon buns.
My mom made a lot of cinnamon buns over Christmas. And
a lot. It was crazy. We're learning that the toaster oven it takes a lot of power to get up to temperature, but it actually gets up to temperature pretty quickly.
It is a smaller space. We do have to make some adjustments, but having a functional oven was important to us. So,
speaking of fancy food and food not to suffer, friends of ours bought us a fancy dinner from a local restaurant and had like the most fancy romantic dinner here in our van.
And Teddy was able to take out her cocktail napkin.
Yes, and we drank a bottle of champagne. well, Kaba, and played cards and listened to jazz. It was like, oh my goodness.
Just to have that moment in our space, in a space that we created, that was really lovely.
It was great.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All right, and then the December 31st, we did not film very much, but I decided to like actually cook our first like real meal in the van.
Teddy is making dinner.
I'm making dumplings.
Dumplings?
Yes.
That looks good.
That kind of looks right.
That looks good.
That kind of looks okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay. I'm always thinking about when cooking in the van, how many pots and pans I'm gonna need, how many elements I'm gonna have to have on at the same time, and how much power I'm gonna draw, and then how much water I'm gonna use to clean everything up. You know, it wasn't the most simple of meals, definitely not.
We're cooking only using 1800 watts, and it's not 1800 watts per element. It's like each element has to share that together, so you can't have both elements on at full heat at the same time.
But I like to cook a lot, and it takes up a lot of water and it takes up a lot of energy, but that's just something we're gonna have to
learn how to deal with. And I think that's what this last week was all about, learning how we can function in here.
All the things that were like the first week were like things are not quite there, we're easing out of that now and we're getting more comfortable in here, and
it feels
a little chilly right now.
Well, because the heater's been off. I feel so comfortable in it now, though. Like, I'm not going to sleep with so many things running through my mind, wondering if they work. Yeah, we're gonna do another video where we'll review like we'll go over everything that makes this van possible to survive in the winter. I don't know how we're gonna land this plane here.
All we gotta do is say goodbye.
Yeah, thanks for coming along.
Okay, bye for now.
You gonna press the button?
I'm just gonna wave.